Okay, this is Hound Dog Steve coming to you on the 11th of November. And here's a little piece I noticed on Zero Hedge. She's back. La Nina is here for a second consecutive year. For the second consecutive time in 2 years, La Nina, translated from Spanish as little girl, is back and she means business. New data from climate.gov indicates La Nina conditions have formed just in time for winter weather in the northern hemisphere. On Thursday, the Climate Prediction Center confirmed La Nina after analyzing October ocean temperatures cooling along the equatorial eastern and central Pacific Ocean. La Nina is often declared when sea surface temperatures in the region, just stated, decline by half a degree Celsius. Okay, so this is the area we're looking at, equatorial Pacific. John Morales, chief meteorologist for WTV NBC 6 Miami, shows the progression of cool water over the equatorial Pacific Ocean responsible for La Nina formation. Cooler waters have influence on the atmospheric conditions by decreasing evaporation in the tropics, which is a major driver of global weather. Okay, so here you see the Pacific jet stream. And the polar jet stream is going to be coming down over the west coast, down over this is I think they call it the Colorado Low, and it's going to be pushing wet, moist air up into the Great Lakes region. A typical La Nina winter in the US brings cold and snow to the northwest and usually dry conditions to most of the southern tier of the US, according to the Prediction Center. The southeast and mid-Atlantic also tend to see warmer than average temperatures during a La Nina winter. New England and the upper Midwest into New York tend to see colder than average temperatures. And again you see this polar jet stream dipping right down and up into the Maritimes. Climate Prediction Center full report: La Nina conditions are predicted to continue, 60 to 75% chance at least through the northern hemisphere winter 2017-2018. During October, weak La Nina conditions emerged as reflected by below average sea surface temperatures, SSTs, across most of the central and eastern equatorial Pacific Ocean. The weekly Nino indices were variable during the month, with values near -5 degrees C during the past week. NOAA's winter weather outlook indicates normal precipitation for the mid-tier of the United States. Southern tier is forecast to see much drier conditions. Meanwhile, the Great Lakes region and northwest of the United States appear to have much wetter conditions. Okay, so we're going to flip over to a website that I really like. Now this is the Earth Wind Map, and it's at the Null School, and if you type in a search for Earth Wind Map and you see the Null School here, that is the right page. Okay, so I've got this set to sea surface anomalies, and you can see the much colder water in the equatorial. This line here is the equator. Now the black color here is 0 degrees centigrade, and these light blue areas here, take a look over here, there's about that light blue, and what does it say? -3.4 degrees centigrade. So it's actually dropped quite a bit since the Zero Hedge article was put out. Now I'm just going to change this back to sea surface temperatures. Close that up. Now what I find absolutely fascinating about this, let's just scroll in a little bit. Okay, so this here is the Gulf Stream. Okay, the Gulf Stream going into the Gulf of Mexico, around here and out like this. And what I find interesting, I don't know about you, but I always thought the Gulf Stream was a kind of just a river, and it is basically a river. I mean, you can see the bulk of the flow, but it doesn't go in a straight line, But look at all these little switchbacks, all these little kickbacks here. Look at all the switchbacks here. So this will be risings under the sea, under the ocean, rocky outcrops, maybe old volcanoes, canyons, changing the direction of that current. Now what I did notice was interesting, that this current starts to dissipate here just off the southern tip of Greenland. Okay, and you'll see that there is no real current over here. Okay, normally this current extends probably to about here in a normal year. So I am going to predict that England is going to get an extremely cold winter this year. And there we go. See, this is the warm water getting into the cooler, cooler, cooler. Okay, so that red colour there is somewhere about 1 degree, 1.5 degrees surface temperature here. That is pretty cold. I don't know if you've ever been swimming in 1 degree or 1.5 degree Celsius temperature water, but that is pretty cold. You won't be staying in too long in that water. So I am predicting that England is going to get a brutal winter this year, and possibly into Europe. But I just wanted to point that out, and like I said, this is a fascinating map. You can okay, let's show one or two little features on here. Okay, let's go to air, and this is what you see when you first open up the weather map. Okay, this is right over the North Pole, and again it shows you some of the eddies here. I mean, it's just fascinating. It's no wonder they can't predict the weather. Okay, so this is the altitudes. So let's take it up and we'll see the jet stream. Let's just scroll that back. Okay, this is your polar vortex right here. It has moved up from here. It was at the South Pole all summer, and this is the remnants of it right here. But this is slowly moving upwards, and you see here's the winds going in this direction, southerly movement, and once you start getting sort of just a little bit above the equator, it goes in the opposite direction. So if you've ever wondered what the polar vortex is and what it looks like, that is what it looks like. Anyway, as I say, that's one of my fun little websites I like to go to. I can actually tell more about the weather that's going on in Canada by watching this large scale map, and you can scroll in pretty close too. Very interesting. Anyway, this is Hound Dog Steve signing off, wishing you a very pleasant weekend, and I have one more video to make. I'll be doing that tomorrow, so we'll talk real soon. You take care now. Good night.